Hello guys, welcome to a new video of Fischer series. Today we look around number 11 of the United States Chess Championship of 1961. It's Fischer against Arthur Bisguier, and in this game we see a beautiful queen sacrifice by Fischer, so I can't wait to show you the game. Fischer has the black pieces and Arthur starts with d4. Knight to f6, c4 and g6, the king's Indian defense. Knight to c3, bishop g7, and usually we see e4 here with d6, but Arthur plays knight to f3. And now we can actually play d5 and transpose into the Grunfeld defense. But Fischer simply castles here. Still not e4. Bishop to f4. And c5 by Fischer. Since he's already castled, he brought out two pieces. And he wants to open up the position since the white king is still in the middle of the board. So Arthur plays d5, keeping the position closed. But now you weakened the dark squared bishop. So d6, e4 and queen to a5, pinning the knight to the king. Since if you play a slow move like a3 for example, you have knight takes e4 and all of a sudden there's a triple attack on your knight. So you have to defend the e4 pawn, either with bishop to d2 or bishop to d3. Here bishop d3, now bishop g4 pinning the other knight. Castles by Arthur and knight b to d7 by Fischer. Now the bishop cannot come back anymore. h3. And here we have to give away our bishop pair. But that's actually what Fischer wants, since after queen takes, the knight on f3 was defending the crucial square on e5 together with the bishop. So now Fischer jumps into e5. Well, can we not just take the knight and double your pawns? Well, if you look at white's bishops, the light squared bishop is actually trapped by its own pawn chain, while the dark squared bishop can maneuver around. So the light squared bishop would be considered the bad bishop here, and we do not want to give away our good bishop for the knight. So queen goes to e2. Now knight takes d3 anyway, taking the bad bishop. And after queen takes, this is actually Fischer's plan. He wants to play knight to d7, open up the scope of his bishop, and slowly march on the queen side. So first a6, preparing b5. Now we have bishop back to d2 with a discovered attack on your queen. Knight to d7. After knight to d7, b3. So you can see the pawn chain of white is actually facing towards the king side. So Arthur would like to play f4 and e5. Queen c7 first. And here Arthur, before making those moves, should move away his rook, since the knight is pinned towards the rook. So either rook to c1 or rook to e1 here. But Arthur plays f4 straight away. And now we have b5. Well, how is b5 possible? It's defended only once and it's attacked 3 times. Well, after pawn takes, we do not take it back. We play queen to b6. And if you are really greedy and take another pawn, we have c4 with a discovered check. And if you try to defend it with the queen, we have bishop to d4 and you're losing the queen and the game. So that's why here, Arthur moves away his king to h2, getting away of this discovered check. And now pawn takes. And okay, you do have 2 attackers and only defended once. But one of those attackers is actually pinned. Well, Arthur's like, I don't really mind, let me take the pawn. Since after bishop takes, rook takes, you did give away one of your crucial defenders of the king. And I took a pawn and a bishop for a rook. So okay, let's see what happens. Now rook f to c8 by Fischer. And obviously he wants to push the pawn, so queen to c4, blocking it. And now 2 good moves, either queen a6 or queen b7, making way for the knight to kick away the queen. Queen to a6 by Fischer. Now a4, cementing the knight on b5. Knight to b6, kicking away the queen. Queen goes back to c2. And now c4 by Fischer, opening up the position. Here you shouldn't take the pawn. Then we have rook takes with an attack on your queen. We will double our rooks and have a beautiful position. So here b4 by Arthur. But now a really nice move by Fischer, the only move, c3, giving away the pawn, since it's attacked 3 times and only defended once. And here you have to take it with the knight, since if you take it with the bishop, we have knight takes a4, double attack on the bishop, the knight is hanging, so that's why here, knight takes, and now the queen comes in, attacking this pawn, so b5, and queen to d4, pinning the knight to your rook. And in this position, white has only one move to keep the game going. I would say try to pause the video here and find the only move for white. Well, if you look at this position, we are attacking the a4 pawn 3 times, and it's defended 3 times as well. Well, if you play a slow move like king to h1, we have rook takes a4, and after rook takes, knight takes, and queen takes, we take the bishop at the end of the combination. So the bishop was hanging. That's why here you have to find bishop to e1. Okay, after bishop to e1, Fischer jumps in with his knight. And he's not really scared of those passed pawns. He just wants to attack you. Now queen to f2, wanting to exchange the queens, but Fischer's not interested. Knight to e3. But now rook to d1. So what to do now? The knight's under attack and the queen is under attack. Well, Fischer here plays a beautiful move, sacrificing his queen with queen takes c3. Since after bishop takes and knight takes d1, forking you, we took 2 pieces for the queen, and after queen to d4, we took 3 pieces now. But still, black is not winning. White has b6, and he wants to push further. And now an only move again for Fischer. Pause the video here and find the only move for black. Well, in this position, you have to find rook to c5. Why is rook to c5 so important? You have to disconnect the queen to the pawns. Well, we could have something like queen to b4, still keeping the game going on. And after rook takes queen to b3, bring the rook all the way back to e8. You cannot play rook to b5. Then we have queen takes, knight takes, and we actually make a queen here. So something like rook to a8 and the game keeps going. But here, Arthur played e5. And that's the losing move. Since now we have rook takes a4. And the queen cannot stay on the same line as the b6 pawn. So the queen actually doesn't move at all. We have b7. Now rook takes queen, making another queen. g7. And after pawn takes, and queen takes, black has too many pawns and pieces to lose this game. He's even winning here after rook takes d5. Queen has to move to c7. And now knight to e2, double attack on the other pawn. f5, rook takes. And there's nothing the queen can do alone. Queen goes to a7, attacking the rook, was simply rook to d5. Queen to a1, pinning the rook now. Simply knight to f4, and Arthur resigns. Since we will play knight to h5, knight to f6, and you cannot pin anything anymore, and together with 2 rooks and those pawns, we will simply checkmate you. So Fischer played a beautiful game and won the United States Championship for a 3rd time. I hope you liked this video. If so, please like, subscribe or comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.